These pictures, they backfired in such a way they never expected, and I will explain to you how this backfired. But let me tell you a few things. In the past, we have seen back in October, I believe, 2022, when the royal family members, they were publishing a portrait through the Buckingham Palace, the royal website. What we have seen is that, well, Meghan and Harry, all of a sudden, my son Harryman, I think his name, the photographer of Meghan Harry, he came up with never seen before footage, something like that, and he posted and he said, "Oh, look at these pictures! Have you seen this before? This is the first time you are watching or looking at these beautiful pictures." What was the reason for Harry and Meghan to do that on that particular day? Well, you guessed it right. It was to compete with the royal family. They always try to steal the show. And take a look at this photo. Harry and Meghan, this is what I'm talking about. They always wanted to compete. They always wanted to steal the show. But every time they do that, it backfires. Now, let's talk about another master mimicking of Harry and Meghan. Take a look at this photo. In this photo, you see that they're trying to mimic the Queen herself. Obviously, it also backfired. People were talking about, this is how you compare yourself with the Queen, who ruled over for more than 70 years, and you think that you are like her. Just grow up, people. But we have seen this trend over and over again from these two. Now, before I tell you what happened this time, how this backfired, I want to let you know that most of my viewers are not subscribed. If you are not subscribed, if you're one of them, consider subscribing to this channel. And also like us on Facebook. So Shy Meghan Markle is mimicking, quote unquote, the Queen's early poses in her latest couple shot with Harry, according to a body language expert. The Duke, that was 36. This is an article from 2020. You can imagine they have history of mimicking. And she was at that time 39, even though we believe she is almost now 50 years old. Of Sussex released a striking new black and white portrait ahead of their Time 100 talks on Tuesday, and it bore similarities to how Her Majesty used to sit with Prince Philip. This is the picture, guys. As you can see here, they were making this portrait in black and white. Meghan could be seen grinning in a chair with Harry perched on the arm of the chair with his arm protectively around his wife. So that happened in 2020 when they were mimicking the Queen. Now let's take a look at this article. Harry and Meghan Markle hold hands in two never before seen portraits. And these are the portraits that were published by their photographer, what you call my son Harryman. Photographer my son Harryman has shared a pair of new never before seen portraits of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex taken on September 5th at the One Young World Summit in Manchester. They show Prince Harry and Meghan Markle holding hands before they walk out in front of the audience. In one, the couple looks straight at the camera, whereas in the second, Harryman captures them in profile. And some more picture from Harryman. Let's take a look at this one too. Why I showed that picture is because, look, the same day when they published the Buckingham Palace, they published this portrait. Meghan and Harry decided to do exactly the same thing, coming out and publishing a portrait of themselves. And again, the same day, October 2022, October 3rd, and you can see they have published this portrait, and voila, all of a sudden you see Meghan and Harry doing exactly the same thing, and that is this portrait. So now that we have established how they always try to compete, they always try to steal the show, let's take a look what Meghan did this time. Meghan Markle goes for a hike with friends in California after Prince Harry attended coronation solo. Well, this article is wrong. The people with her, they are not necessarily her friends. One report suggested these are yoga instructor and some other people like manager or whatever. They are not her friends. When people see these pictures, they can recognize it now because internet is talking about this. So this is one way it is backfiring. Let's take a look a little bit more. It was previously announced that Harry would attend his father's crowning ceremony while Meghan remained in California with their children Archie and Lily. Markle was spotted on a hike in California amid the coronation weekend The Duchess of Sausages 41 joined friends Marcus Anderson and Heather Dorek for some time outdoors near home in Montecito. She wore a hat and sunglasses for the outing, tying a jacket around her waist. Again, these are not necessarily her friends. The reports are wrong. These are all pro-Meghan article news outlets talking about how she was surrounded by friends. So they are really not her friends. Prince Harry was in UK on Saturday for his father King Charles's coronation without Meghan, who stayed back in California with her two children. The couple relocated to Meghan's home state after stepping back from their royal roles in 2020. Buckingham Palace announced in April that Harry, 38, would attend the crowning ceremony while Meghan would not.
Father can cope with that sort of situation. It's incredibly difficult. What I find so fascinating is that it has actually been the real split with Harry and the royal family, and the way that Harry has actually tried to destroy the British monarchy, that has brought Charles and William so close together. And you saw that on display at various points during the coronation weekend. There was an incredibly poignant moment in front of the world in Westminster Abbey. But then last night, William goes up in front of the tens of thousands gathered for this extraordinary coronation concert, the first ever coronation concert at Windsor Castle, where it was very bizarre, Meghan, the likes of Lionel Richie and Katy Perry joining British acts to sing in front of all of the royals. Very bizarre night, but I have to say, I loved it. And William goes up on stage and invokes the late Queen, Elizabeth II, and says she would be so proud of you, Dad. So this is the royal family coming together in union and saying, you know what, we know Harry and Meghan, you're going to keep throwing these grenades, you're going to try and destroy us, we know that, but we are now united.
So how these pictures backfired? Number one way, as I mentioned already, they are mimicking, they're copying, they're competing with the monarchies, trying to steal the show, and every time people are calling them out. Why you're mimicking the Queen when you are not even near to her? And then they, of course, on October 3rd, 2020, they published this portrait to compete with Buckingham Palace portrait that they published of the British monarchy. Why you are doing this doesn't make sense. It is so ridiculous the way you're trying to think in your head that you are equal to them. So both occasion in the past, it backfired. But this time, what happened? Number one is that there was really no friend, as I mentioned. And when I say friend, where is the friend called Gayle King, Ellen DeGeneres? Where are they? Nobody was there. Nobody even cared. Okay, for the hike, you can say, well, they did not feel like going for hiking with Meghan. Okay, we understand that. But what about the birthday party? Nobody showed up for Archie's birthday party, the so-called Hollywood A-listers. People are now on the internet talking, oh, well, look at this couple. They are just making things up. They are just trying to mimic, but they're failing miserably. They were not able to pull off a successful birthday for Archie, for which Harry was rushing back home for really no reason, for really nothing.
Some people originally said the pictures were surrounded by friends. That's not technically true. There's a yoga instructor and some kind of manager, personal assistant, whatever you want to call them. And it's interesting, isn't it, with Meghan now, because she's not picturing herself with, friends and associates, as one might suspect. The likes of Ellen DeGeneres, Gayle King, Oprah. They seem to have all fallen by the wayside. This is a tougher, shrewder kind of business mode of Meghan, and this is why it's kind of difficult now for the British monarchy, because what it really says is, I'm through with your pantomime, I'm through with whatever we were going to do a couple of years ago.
As Nishal pointed out, there was no Gayle King, there was no Ellen DeGeneres, no friend was there. So it backfired in that sense quite a bit. It backfired also in the sense that we know why she is posting these pictures, because as Nilsson alluded, he is saying basically that she might be going into politics and running for governor of California. So all of these PR stunts, they're failing. We can call her out in everything she does because we know what she is doing and why she is doing. What she will do in the future, obviously we know she will keep on mimicking, because if you think about this, narcissistic people, they have no talent. They do not have anything they can offer on the table. So what they do is they pick on people who are successful. In this case, Meghan is picking on the British monarchy. They're successful people in terms of how she wants the whole world to see her in the same light as people see the monarchy. And in the future, what we will see, a coronation for Harry, crowning the king of Montecito palace or mansion. We do not know what they will do, but something is coming. Maybe she will crown herself to be the queen of Montecito. Who knows? But something we will see for sure in the future in order to mimic more, copy more, and in the process, this all will backfire again and again.